How do you feel tonight? I see the water is dripping out here in L.A. I'm talking about. Certainly not in here.
No, John, that bucket is going to be a group urine sample later on tonight. We're all going to go in the bucket.
Look, talk about urine samples. Did you recently have a urine sample specimen that you had to give a doctor or something? Are you okay?
No, I cannot piss in a bottle. I get like stage fright. Unless they play Niagara Falls soundtracks behind me, I cannot go on command. It's just the way it is.
That's terrible, being in predicaments that can be really embarrassing. Gee,
like my set tonight, for example, was one of them, yeah.
That's funny. But anyway, tonight I'm excited because we had expected a terrific, controversial subject matter here tonight. You know, the hemp organization is here partially, but I understand it's well represented. Of course, hemp is help eliminate marijuana prohibition. So I think we have some good positive and negative feelings about that. And
Barbara Bush and Nancy Reagan will be speaking for the hemp people tonight. It's pretty incredible.
Really?
No.
No.
Just was serious
Think of
with
this
him.
guy here. Now, Still Prophet is here, right up in front. Any friends from Still Prophet?
Oh! Oh! We heard them on the tape. They were hot. They got JT.
These guys were better than just good. That is commendable. I know you guys have success written in the books for you. We'll talk on stage because I just wanted to get some in-depth look at things. But anyway, it's a metal formatted band. I have to stop leaning on this because it won't hold my weight. A lot of things we'd like to lean on, though, you know, as crutches.
The fat chicks you're with, for example. Okay.
Hey, how many people need people? You know, you need each other to do your thing. Do you need anyone, John?
Can you feel the love in the room? Can you feel it? Everyone, group hug.
No, that's a little, what would they say, idealistic.
Yeah, well, never by the end of the evening.
We're talking needs here. It's just even exchange, you know. Who's talking love?
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm not bringing it in.
No, I'm only kidding. I appreciate the love aspect, too. Now, Larry Greenblatt will describe love to us tonight. I'll ask him specifically about that question. LA's #1 man regarding participation, community involvement, sense of humor, piano player, linguistic, or is that, or what do you call one who speaks more than one language?
A native in LA, basically.
No, a linguist. A linguistic?
Yes, linguistic.
Oh, he's yeah.
Yes, Larry's bi. Let's get it out right here now.
He is bi.
Yeah.
Lingual. I believe, is that true? Is that true? Okay.
Yes.
Funny man, comedian. We'll get his viewpoints on smoking marijuana, too. Candid man, but very adamant about things. Intense feelings. I hope that you live a long life, but they say with your type of personality, you're prone to die at least 25 years earlier than the average.
So you're 2 years overdue, Larry, pretty much at this point.
That's a terrible thing to say because we tend to suggest things to people, and that's in a hypnotic way. They go for that and program their lives accordingly. Who knows? Larry will believe what we're saying here and take it literally and actually die laughing.
He will outlive us all. He will outlive us all. And John, we also say hi to Ted the Dude Man back there and Kelly.
Ted the Dude Man, KLSX Radio in the morning. The Dude Man, here he is. Where is he?
He's back there.
We'll get him up. He's got a sense of humor that is a turn on. I know he's brighter than a light bulb at times. I personally can vouch for that. And we're looking forward to talking to him tonight, too. I got to stop holding that. I don't know what it is.
It's better than hands down.
It's just like making up with your old lady. Are you married?
No, a woman said hello to me last week, so I'm close. But aside from that, yeah, I'm getting like one step up.
What a great sense of humor. Now that was quick wit.
A man who can laugh at not getting laid. That's me.
But at that rate, what's going to happen? Will he get satisfaction before your life ends?
No. I've already ruled that out. I'm from a Jewish family in New York, so.
Okay, we got Reverend Bud Green here tonight from the Just Say Yes metal band.
You light up my joint.
Now we're going to get down to some serious issues here. Additional, as mentioned, Larry Greenblatt, of course, Todd the Bubble Man, Still Prophet, and we're looking forward to Ted the Dude Man upcoming on this stage here tonight, Wednesday. Welcome to the Natural Fudge.
Yeah.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Natural Fudge Cafe here. We're here seated tonight with an interesting collage of personalities and political beliefs, socio-political positions that are a little dangerous because sometimes what you believe or what you preach, others may not appreciate. And tonight I think I have one such guest, an organization or society that this man's a part of, a rather radical program. It's described or labeled as HEMP. That's Help Eliminate Marijuana Prohibition. Now, let's get real. Are you guys druggies, or do you, I mean, look at this guy. He comes with a hat. Look at this. Well, first of all, let me introduce these guys. Here we have
The Reverend Bud Green.
the Reverend Bud Green.
Yeah, Reverend.
Now, he certainly looks like a reverend, and with that kind of response, my goodness sakes. I'm glad this is going on cable, because they may have deleted that. Now, seated next to stage right of Reverend Bud Green is Chief Eagle Eye.
Chief. How?
Okay, now, if we
Not
could...
crook. Okay.
Also comic, Hemp comic, Chief Eagle Eye. So, getting serious, because time is really not as much as what we'd like it to be, just what makes you come out and want to eliminate marijuana prohibition? I mean, what possible substantiation can you have against drugs that are ruining these kids going into high school here and pretty soon buying crack houses? And they say that it all leads to harder drugs, and obviously it's illegal. So just what is this movement all about? Can you give us a nut? I mean, you're not a nut. I'm just saying, can you give us,
In a nutshell.
in a nutshell, your response to that, or your position? State your position.
Well, I think the only reason kids smoke crack is because they can't find enough marijuana. It's kind of tough to find these days. But basically,
Flipper on acid. It's incredible.
So go on.
okay, but basically we believe marijuana should be legal because not only should it be smoked, but it can be used for different purposes. It can be used for fuel, for clothing, for shelter, and as we probably already know, it can be used for rolling papers too. I've never seen those indica rolling papers, pretty cool.
But Reverend, I want to interject this main problem that we have with his whole concept. Now, I've read their book and I've read their material, their portfolio, and I must admit, it bears more than merit when it comes to the other parts of pot. I mean anything other than smoking pot. I'm talking about all the productive uses that are just marvelously available for hemp. But in reality, that's not what's happening. In reality, people are buying all this pot and smoking it and getting high, and they're writing graffiti all over the place. Well, who's to say? I mean, you guys get creative.
We can't
You
read
don't
what
know
it says.
You're a danger to the highways. You're smoking a joint, and you know, you're burning yourself, and you get in an accident.
Well,
Don't ask me how I know
I'd like to clear up some of those stereotypes.
Go on.
First of all, we're not dangerous. It's the military-industrial complex is dangerous. Yeah, and it's the hemp organization is actually in charge of the government now. Only their hemp organization stands for Help in Marijuana Production. You know? And we want to get rid of them and replace it with our hemp organization. And who's dying on the highways? It's because of alcohol, not because of marijuana.
That makes a good point. Can you bring out some of the other positive points that you really substantiate your whole concept?
Well, the reason that marijuana is against the law is because they wanted to make the world safe for synthetics. You know, that's right. For plastic production, instead of having, you know, they have plastic clothes, we want to have clothes made out of hemp. And they cut down forest trees to make paper, and then they use dioxin, the same toxic substance that is in Agent Orange, to make the paper. Whereas you make paper out of hemp, all you have to do is use caustic soda. And we look upon marijuana as the solution to the problems of alcohol, pharmaceuticals, and tobacco. You know, we had marijuana legal and cheap, there'd be nobody starting on tobacco. You know, who in their right mind would want to smoke tobacco when you got legal cheap marijuana?
The Marlboro Man?
I'm the marijuana man, and in the future you're going to see me up there instead of the Marlboro Man. You know?
That's a good point. That's a good point. I think you're loved by the house out here. I think you're favored. Actually, if we were to take a poll, it's clear and obvious that these people are pro-pot, pro-marijuana. Are you folks out there pro-marijuana? So you're for the legalization. Now, speaking of for the legalization, I'm sure you can declare to us now when that initiative will be available for these people to sign.
Yeah, it's going to start March 1st, and Jack Herrera, the guy who runs the hemp organization, he's trying to get everybody to sign it like within the first 10 days, so we really get everything going. I think we have like 2 or 3 months to get on the ballot. But the main thing is that even people who don't believe that marijuana should be smoked can sign this proposition because of all the different ideas of what it could be used for, the main things, so again, with the fuel, clothing, and shelter. And let me bring you about the fuel thing. Instead of fighting Iraq for their oil, we'll probably end up fighting Mexico for their hemp. That's probably what will happen eventually.
Well, I viewed from this hemp organization a tape that they called Victory, Hemp for Victory, a government-released tape. Isn't that correct? Am I correct in saying that?
In the 40s, you're right. I don't
know if I should declare it a government release, but I thought it was in the 40s, and it was amazing. Of course, now I think one of the biggest single arguments for the legalization of hemp, or the production of American hemp, as I understood their entire portfolio presented to me, is the fact that hemp, or I don't know if that's a fact, the what do you call it? Not the idea, it may be a fact, I can't think of the word, yeah, is that hemp is the largest biomass on Earth. Now, is that correct?
That's correct, yeah.
So that means that the cellular structure is so much more, comparatively speaking, than any other organic matter. And that's why that the production of the fuel is much more available compared to any. I forgot exactly how this concept went.
You can make a hemp oil out of the hemp that will run all the diesel engines that are in buses and trucks and cars, you know.
Yeah, then when you wouldn't mind to have an RTD when they come by and blow that big smoke on you, you'd be heard.
You'd be following the bus for miles. You'd just be driving behind it. Yeah, well, driving stone is very difficult. I found that when you drive stone, it takes forever to get where you're going. Just because you stop at every fast food place you pass pretty much the whole way. But what I want to talk about maybe is how do we bring down the really heavy hand of the alcohol and tobacco industry. Those lobbies are about as powerful as anything you've got in the world right now with the money they got. And until they're out of the way, you know, they're going to keep doing it the way they do. How can we maybe get the power base?
I think there's only one answer: revolution.
It seems that it's necessary to really create a lot of attention so people could at least look at the issues, and that's why primarily we asked you on tonight, because I think it's not only a worthy issue, but I think it's something that should be intensely brought to people's attention.
One thing we need to realize is that it's not just a good idea to legalize marijuana, it's an absolute necessity. In order to save the environment and to help the economy, we have to legalize marijuana. And this is the idea that we have to stress to people, is that we can no longer afford to keep on polluting the earth. We have to switch to a safe means of producing energy. And they're fighting for the wrong oil over there. They should be fighting for that hash oil. You know.
That's good. That's very good. Very good, Chief. Now, let's take some questions.
I'm willing to lay my life on the line. I like the revolution theory.
Yeah, that's good that you're willing to do that, because that certainly is a declaration of where you stand.
The first revolution to be stopped by a hobo and Twinkie.
Okay, are there any questions from the House or comments to any of our guests here? And there's a call-in number, too, that we'll put in on the screen for any of you TV cable viewers out there, and we could ask later.
It's not a 976 number, is it? No.
No. Any questions from
976 hemp.
Okay, I guess no one has a question right now, so we're going to see if you have any other points that you want to discuss. Now, Todd, you had, do you have any input here at this point as far as maybe against this concept of legalizing, or at least tearing away the prohibition?
Well, I do, in a sense, as liberal, and really, I mean, as much as I am in favor of everything, I just always agree with the theory of moderation and everything. But like they said before, they're not putting a ballot on saying everybody gets stoned. What you're saying is, here's a substance that we need to help for our future, and in the process, if you happen to make use of it, such as one way, and I think you guys are going about it in a proper way. Rather, revolution is one thing, but I think the hemp, by trying to change from within, the two of you working together should really be able to make a difference. So keep it up.
Yeah, well, also the medicinal use, I understand it's for glaucoma patients, can definitely benefit, and
Yeah, in fact,
also
George Bush has glaucoma, so there's some question whether he's smoking herb or not. But obviously, since he's a warmonger, he obviously hasn't been smoking the herb.
I guess your main reason why,
That's right.
I guess the main thing is then to change the fuel sources instead of the petroleum-based oil polluting to the vegetable source, and of course clean and American as well.
Yeah, and George Bush is not in favor. George Bush's family made a lot of money over the years from the Middle East
The
oil
oil,
production.
yeah,
I mean, his family's money comes from that oil in the Middle East, so he is not about to change.
Right. They also own some oil in Kuwait, too. So now you know why we're over there.
Yeah, that's where the Bush money comes
Remember that
from.
analogy?
Wow.
Like,
Bush is looking out for his property over there. Yeah.
Okay, now you're saying that Bush owns some property right there?
yeah, he owns the offshore oil rigs in
Right,
Kuwait.
yeah.
His oil company drilled the first offshore oil rigs. Zapata Oil.
Yeah,
it's
use them in
called.
Texas, use them in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Oh, I see, I see. So
When he's facts, you don't really hear on the news that often.
Yeah, and what's his son doing these days, just out of curiosity?
Counting the money from he looted from the S&Ls. Yeah.
This is a liberal station. This is like this is like the 60s upside down, the 90s.
People have to realize that fossil fuel.
I've heard that a number of times now. I think it's true.
Yeah. And President Bush, he owns his life to the hemp plant, actually, because the parachute he used in World War II was made of hemp. A guy needs to have some appreciation for the hemp plant. Yeah.
Okay, are there any other primary points? Because we're going to move on to the show because we're going to have a humor hour here with Chief Eagle Eye, and then we'll be going on to our acoustic set that you're providing us with a few minutes of. The Reverend Bud Green does music, all original tunes, I take it.
Yeah, I don't think anybody else would ever try to copy my songs.
Yeah.
Nobody else has the guts to. Yeah.
So we're going to move this show along, you guys, and thank you very much for being here. We'll be back at another time.